All right. Okay. Now, get a little settled in here. I don't know why I hit the button. I wasn't ready yet. So, anyway, got Faker in the, not mail. Got it from Amazon today. It's Sunday, uh, at the time of this recording. So, it wasn't delivered by the mail. It was just delivered by the Amazon truck. And I'm really excited about this one. This is one I've been looking forward to for a long time. Faker was one of the first Masters of the Universe figures that I had when I was a kid, and he was the first evil warrior that I picked out myself when I went to the store. So he was my second evil warrior altogether after Skeletor, which I got Christmas morning. So I got that with some of my Christmas money from my great aunt. So that was really nice for her. Anyway, we can see a little bit of the package artwork on the back. It's got Faker leaping towards Ram Man and Man at Arms, who are two other characters that would have come out in that assortment, or at least he would have come out right before that assortment. It's kind of a controversy as to when the original Faker came out, because some of them are available on 8-backs, and whether or not it's considered part of the first wave or the second wave, I consider it part of the second wave. But regardless, it was one that they kind of, rushed into production. Obviously, he didn't use any new parts. He's basically He-Man colored in Skeletor's colors with weapons from Skeletor's accessory pack. So he came with Skeletor's breastplate and Skeletor's half of the power sword, just recolored in orange. I guess they blocked off the loincloth and the Havoc staff because he didn't come with those, unless you bought him in India, because the one that they made in India actually came with those accessories, and he also had like a raccoon Lone Ranger mask looking black pattern on his face. Anyway, it says here, robotic replica Faker lures the heroes of Eternia into deadly traps. And you can see on the artwork also it shows him like kind of silhouetted right before he leaps at them, which I guess is the only way he could really fool anybody into thinking he's He-Man, since, he's blue. Uh, they came up like a whole elaborate thing in the classics continuity about how he originally looked like the regular He-Man, like how they showed him on the Filmation cartoon where they just had him look like He-Man. But then he turned blue as part of an attempt to trick people into thinking that He-Man was a Gar, which the Gars are the blue people on Eternia. And apparently people are like really racist against the Gars. So anyway, you can see the cross-cell artwork on the back here has the newer versions of He-Man and Skeletor with the older heads. And I have here, for comparison, for funsies, I have this He-Man figure that I put him together real quick. It's basically going to be this one. When I'm able to get it, it's basically going to be this one. So, because I took the head off of Battle Armor He-Man and the sword off of the Battlefield Warrior set and made my own. But I'm still going to buy one of these, and this guy I'll probably wind up doing something else with, but I haven't decided yet. Probably put the Origins head back on him. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and open them up. I've been looking forward to this, so why waste any more time? Finally have Faker. Exciting. Alright, so go ahead and open it up. Come on. There we go. We got the comic book that already came with all the other figures in this assortment. This is the last figure in this assortment that I needed to get. So I've already reviewed this comic book. I think it's in my Fisto review. It might be in my Merman review. I forget which one. Whichever one of those I got first. So look through my list, and whichever one of those looks like it was published first, that's the one it's in. So it's probably Merman. I think it's Merman. Alright, so here is his sword. Other than his armor, that's the only piece of equipment that he comes with. This is his one accessory, and it's taped in there pretty good. So, get my X-Acto knife out. I was going to cut through all this tape. It's taped in like a few places, so might be easier just to cut through the bag. I think I'll just cut through the bag. There we go. So Faker has a solid, complete power sword, which if I had to pick one with the solid power sword versus the half power sword, I would definitely pick the solid power sword. But I kind of wish these figures came with both. You know, I never really liked the half power swords that came with classics, and I always consider those to be like fairly useless accessories. But the half power swords that come with Origins are much better, so I don't mind having those. I'd still rather have a whole power sword. If my only option is a whole one or a half one, I'd rather have a whole one. But I would like to have both. I think both would be cool. So maybe at some point, if they do like a battle armor Faker, they can give us a half version of the orange power sword. And that would be cool. I would like to have both. Alright, so we'll put that over there for now. Get there's just one rubber band holding him, and it's at the elbows. Thankfully, nothing at the ankles, because I hate that. I'm going to pull this bubble the rest of the way off this card. And I probably should have gone the other way. I usually go the other way. I know I'm tearing a little more of the card front than I like to. But, of course, I saved the card backs because I like the artwork on the back so much. So I will put that with the rest of those later. Because I did have a big stack of them in here, but it got too unwieldy, so I put it back in my bedroom. And let's have a look at Faker, and he looks awesome. And you can see that they used the vintage style head sculpt for Faker, as opposed to the Origins head sculpt. Now, I know a lot of people like this vintage head sculpt better, and I agree, I like this vintage head sculpt better too, but that doesn't mean I dislike the Origins head sculpt. I think that that's a fine head sculpt, and hopefully we'll get an Origins version of Faker's head at some point. Like I said, you know, I kind of hope they do a battle armor Faker. I think that would be really cool, and it would be a good way to get us a lot of these extra accessories I'm talking about. And since the regular battle armor He-Man came with an Origins head and a vintage head, I don't see any reason why they couldn't do the same with Faker. You know, granted, that Origins head was like the yelling one, which isn't quite as good as the regular one, but imagine this. What if they did a battle armor Faker, and it came with the Battlefield Warriors style yelling head, which is really cool, and then it also came with the regular Origins He-Man head, but molded in blue with orange hair. I think that would look really sweet, and it would give us more display options. And of course, I'm all about having different display options. So, but yeah, he's got the same standard articulation that, you know, these Origins figures have, and he comes apart like the other Origins figures. And while I've got his arm off, let's go ahead and take off his armor, because we definitely want to check this out. He does have the computer console on his chest, and rather than being a sticker like the old one, which falls off really easily, they actually tampographed it onto his chest, much like they did with the Classics figures, and it looks really cool. It's nice and sharp. The only problem is since, you know, it's just printed onto his chest and conforms to the contours of his musculature, you know, it doesn't really look particularly realistic, but it's nice that they put it on there. I kind of had this idea with Classics that I might like to try to do it, is actually make one of these in 3 dimensions, like maybe kit bash it out of some various parts and cut like a little rectangular hole in his chest and kind of inset it. But of course, I only have the, what do you call it, the ultimate Faker that Super 7 made, and that's a little too expensive for me to cut up right now. So, if I can find another one of these for a good price, that might be a good way to do it. Man, the orange on this is just like a perfect match to how I remember it being. You know, like a lot of these Origins figures, they're a lot more vibrant than the figures that we had as a kid. But that orange was pretty vibrant in the first place, and that's pretty much what I remember it looking like. Let's put the sword in his hand, because I want to get the full effect of Faker with the sword in his hand. And he looks really cool. So like I said, yeah, he only comes with the one accessory. You know, a lot of the times, like with the, you know, in the classics, they were able to get it into the weapons pack. And then later on, they put it in with the ultimates. But you had, like, you know, a shield and a battle axe for Faker. And it would have been nice if they had have included those. I think they probably could have, you know, sprung for some extra accessories with this figure. But he just comes with the same sword and armor that the original figure came with. So, if anybody from Mattel is watching, it would be really cool to see those accessories at some point. If you put them in with a battle armor Faker, or made some kind of weapons pack. I honestly think you guys ought to make a weapons pack anyway. So, my Faker, for whatever reason, and I don't know why this is, it seems to be like a little bit more space. I think I might have got it fixed now. But there seemed to be like a little bit more space in between the waist and the chest. But I think I got it fixed now. Maybe it just wasn't on all the way. I tried to press it down, but that didn't work out too well. So I just took the whole thing apart and put it back together. And now he seems fine. So, I highly recommend Faker if you're collecting these Masters of the Universe Origins figures. He is what I consider to be a key character. Granted, he wasn't in that much of the media. Like, he never appeared in a mini-comic until, like, the very last year of the storyline. Like, he appeared in... His first appearance in a mini-comic was the same mini-comic that was the first appearance of Scareglow, Ninjor, and Clampchamp. So that ought to show you how late along in the line they got around to putting him in a mini-comic. He was on one episode that I can recall of the Filmation cartoon, and he didn't even look like this. He just looked like He-Man with glowy eyes. So, he's not a guy who's gotten a lot of media exposure compared to some of the other characters, but he's still like a really cool character, I think, a really cool idea for a character. You know, when I was a kid, since he didn't look that much like He-Man, obviously, I didn't really use him as a robot that tried to impersonate He-Man. He was more like a robot that Skeletor built to be like a rival to He-Man. Like, he made his own He-Man to beat up on He-Man, and, you know, since he's a robot, he's not quite as good as the real thing, because he's just an impersonation of the real He-Man. But I still thought he was really cool. Like, I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier in the video. I know I mentioned that I picked him out myself, but the reason I wound up picking out Faker was because I was, when I was a kid, and I always have been a big fan of Superman. Superman's been one of my favorite characters since I was, like, really little. And, He-Man being a relatively new thing, and I'm looking at all these new characters, and I see there's, like, an evil-looking version of He-Man. It reminded me of Bizarro from Superman. So, that was part of why I liked Faker so much when I was a kid. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I've got a couple more figures on the way from Amazon, one of which being basically this version of He-Man, and and Ram Man is the other one. So hopefully I'll have videos of those up soon. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be able to post this one, because I've been going by the library to upload all my videos, so it'll probably be like Monday or Tuesday before I can get it uploaded, and I don't know if how many more videos I got in the queue before that one. I've lost track. I probably have more videos I can be sharing on Facebook and things like that. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and comment and do all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Do you have any cool childhood memories of Faker? What do you think of his function in the Masters of the Universe? You know, is he a guy who impersonates He-Man, or is he just, like, a guy who's, like, you know, built to replace He-Man? So, anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.